Hey guys, CoolS159 here. Okay, so yeah, if it seems like I'm rushing through this video, because this is a video of my real life Dark World, Dark World deck profile. Feels like I'm rushing through. It's because I tried filming a deck profile originally like a while, just now, and it took me 30 minutes to get through everything, and that was way too long for a YouTube video. So I'm gonna try to shorten it down, see what I can. Kept making a lot of mistakes. My light fell. Wasn't good. Anyway, so let's get started. So first off, 3 Graphas. Grapha is the boss monster of the deck. Everyone knows this effect. Pop a card. You can special summon it by sending a Dark World card back to your hand. Well, face up Dark World card. So I mean, it's a pretty good card. 27 beater, potentially a 3,000 beater. So I mean, I'm sorry, you have to be pretty stupid to not run 3. Okay. Now 3 snows, because snow is like the search engine of this deck. You can get a Dark World card, not necessarily a monster, but a card. Oh, it looks yellow. Anyway, so I can get Gates, I can get Grapha, I can get Dark World dealings. It just gives me a lot of options. It's 1700, and it could also be a potential 2000 beater with Gates, but that's not usually what it's used for. But it can be balanced for Grapha, which is pretty good. So those 2 are probably like the 2 most important cards of the deck. So then well, monsters in the deck. 3 Brows. I used to think that Brow was like a really crap card, and there was no point for it. But then I realized that Brow, it gives you a lot of hand advantage. I've used card destruction while I had 2 Brows in my hand, and that gave me 4 cards. And it's also a Dark World card, so I can bounce it. And when I have my deck complete and I start using a tour guide build, I could use Leviair, get a banished Brow that I banished from Gates, and then I can just bounce it, get a Grapha for my for my graveyard, and be good. Okay. Now I run 2 Beiges. Why don't I run 3? I don't want to crowd my deck. I tried running 1, but because I wasn't running tour guides, because I can't afford tour guides, I had to work out the balance of my deck, so I was taking out cards, putting cards in, and I was really short of a lot of monsters because tour guide was like 3 monsters, and yeah, so I was putting in some couple cards. So Beige, the special summon effect is really good. It helps me get Grapha almost automatically. I can special summon it, get Grapha, then I can normal summon it, and then I can get another Grapha. Or if I attack and they destroy it, main phase 2, normal summon, bounce for Grapha. I don't like wasting my normal summons. I like to save it just in case, they have a Mirror Force or something there, because this deck is really fast paced and you just explode. So traps slow down a deck, so I don't run a lot of traps, but you'll see that later. So now here's Silva. So Silva, most people like to run like, I don't know, the ratio or something is like 5. It's either 3 Silvas, 2 gold, or 3 gold, 2 Silva. So I'm gonna put my opinion in this and say that's idiotic and that's stupid. Unless you're running like a Ceruli build, yeah, then you can go ahead and have a 3 Silva or something. But the fact that you have those 5, that means like your deck has to be like all discard outlets, because that's absolutely ridiculous. In the event that you were ever to have, okay, let's say that we're like playing right now. That's Grapha in the grave, and this is Silva in my hand. Let's say I play Gates, I can discard it, special, back to my hand, get Grapha, and then I'm nowhere. With a card like Beige, because this is why I like Beige better, I can discard it, special, bounce, Grapha. If I have a second Grapha, normal, up, Grapha. There have been situations where I had no monsters. Like I had like no field. I had Grapha in my grave, and so like I'd just be playing Beige, and then I'd just bounce for Grapha. I've been in a situation where I've had, well, multiple times, I've had Silva in my hand and no other card, and I couldn't do anything. And if I were to run 5 level 5s, and I can't normal summon even to defend myself if Grapha was even there, I mean, like, that would just kill me. So, and also Silva's second effect, if I ever get it by an opponent's card effect, whether, you know, it's a mirror match or something, or Cerule's effect, which I'm going to get into in a bit, then, you know, they have to send 2 cards from their hand to the bottom of the deck, and that decreases hand advantage, as opposed to Gold's effect, where I just destroy some cards in the field, which I have cards in my deck for that, which, you know, a friend of mine enlightened me on that. And, you know, like Grapha, you know, Dark World Dealing, Dark World Lightning, that sort of thing. Next I have Braun. You know, he's a tech card. He's a Dark World card, so I can just bounce for Grapha, and this allows me a discard outlet when I do battle damage. So, you know, it's a pretty good card, you know, discard outlet. You know, one of my favorite, where'd Silva go? Anyway, one of my favorite combos with it is when you have Grapha in your graveyard. And everyone was going to think that when you normal summon Braun, you bounce for Grapha, but that's not what you do. You play Braun, just like attack directly or something. They say, okay. You say Braun's effect, you know, I can discard Beige special or discard Silva and special. One of the two. So then, after that, I attack again, and then with this, I'm doing 4,100 damage. With this, I'm doing 3,400 damage, which is a lot more than what Grapha would have done. And then I can just bounce one, get Grapha, or bounce this and get Grapha, or do something. You know, I can just beat him down. So Braun's a good card, but you shouldn't have more than one Braun, because it's just a tech card. Cerule's one of the first cards I take out in my side deck. Is it a bad card? Not necessarily. When I'm in really tight situations, I can normal summon it, and then I can just get Grapha, because it's a Dark World card. And, you know, it lets me get an opponent's card effect on the discard. So, you know, I can get, you know, Silva's second effect, which is pretty good. Snow's second effect, which allows me to special summon a card from the opponent's grave. Grapha's second effect, get something from a opponent's hand. Brow's second effect, you know, get a second, get a second draw, so draw 2 instead of 1. So, I mean, is it too bad of a card? No, but the thing is, it takes a lot of hand advantage away from me, which I don't really like, so I run like 1. You know, because sometimes, you know, it is good. If I play card destruction, discard, you know, 5 cards, one of them is Cerule, and then special summons on their side. And then I'm forced to discard, and I get to choose between 5 cards, which I want to discard, and it more likely than not, it's going to be a Dark World card in my hand. With the discard effect, it's pretty good. Okay, about 8 minutes in. I need to hurry it up. Okay, so Morphing Jar, pretty self-explanatory. Discard outlet, drawing outlet. Fabled Raven, this costs money. I'm not sure about rarity, I think this is like an ultra. So it's a fiend, it's a tuner, you know, it gets me a lot of options. It's also a discard outlet, and it could potentially be a beater if I discard a lot of cards. I don't like to sync until like main phase 2 unless I want to get Stardust up, because I'm scared. So, you know, because if I discard 1, it's at 17. If I have gates, it's automatically at 2,000. And if I have, you know, my synchro monster, like if I have like Beige on the field, which is usually what I do to sync, because, you know, discard outlet just gets special summoned. You know, I attack with both and then just sync main phase 2. But, you know, Fabled Raven's a really good card. Next is Trance Archfiend. Trance Archfiend is a discard outlet. How you know if something is a discard outlet? Both of these say you discard but if it says discard 2, that means you know it's a cost, because you have to do that in order to activate the effect, the second effect. But if it says discard that means it's just all happening simultaneously. So Trance Archfiend, so it's a discard outlet, and then it could be a 2,000 beater, 23 with gates. And then on top of that, when it's destroyed, you get to get a banished dark monster added to my hand. So that's pretty good from my opinion. Dark Resonator, you know, without tour guides, because, you know, I can't afford any tour guides. $150 waiting for the reprint. So this card, you know, can't be destroyed by battle once per turn, so it isn't bad. It's a fiend, so I can banish it with gates. It's 3-star and it's the tuner, so, you know, it gives me a little bit more synchro ability. Battle Fader. Most people aren't supposed to run Battle Fader, and I am fully aware of this, but my friend 44 Drewster, he uses, like, before he started using light sectors, he was doing like an just all lights horn build, and he used to blow up my field and just attack directly. And if I ever had Sandgen set, I could just search for Battle Fader, just save myself for an extra turn, try to get Grapha, try to work my way around JD and that sort of thing, just stall for a bit of time. A good combo for me if I'm really stalling: Sandgen, get Battle Fader, use it, and then set Trance Archfiend, and when it's destroyed, get a banished Dark Monster, and when Battle Fader is destroyed, it's banished, so, you know, pretty good there. Okay, 10 minutes, 30 seconds in. Okay, Sandgen, talking about Sandgen earlier, you already know what it does. Gates, been talking about Gates this whole time. Increase all Fiend type monsters by 300. I can destroy my opponent's field spells by just playing that. And, you know, I get to banish a card from my graveyard, then discard cards, and draw one. So it's drawing outlet, that sort of thing. I run 3 of those. I run 3 Dark World Dealings because it lets me draw, look at my hand, see my options, and discard a card. Pretty good card right there. 2 Dark World Lightnings. I used to run 3, but then I realized it only works on face down cards, so if I flip it face up or chain or something, I can't even use it. No discard outlet, no destroying. So then I took 1 out and put 1 MST in. Staple card, I don't have to get into that. 2 Drag Downs. People say run 3, but I run too many tech cards to run 3. So I don't want it to be a dead draw. So we just look at each other's hands, pick 1 to discard, so it allows me to see what I'm working against. And, you know, just discard against that. Discard a card that just ruined that, and if they discard against me, I just sit all my cards, just have all Dark World cards in my hand, so they're just screwed. Book of Moon, you know, still working with the tour guide thing. I wasn't sure what to do, so pretty good card. One of my favorite things to do is when they attack Morphing Jar. Let's say I flipped it on my turn. Instead of negating their attack by Book of Mooning their monster, I Book of Moon Morphing Jar. And then since my number of monsters on my field didn't change, you know, it just get attacked, destroyed. You know, everything's good for me. So, you know, more discard, more drawing. Monster Reborn's a staple, you know what that is. Card destruction, you know, it's been out for so long, you should probably know what that is. Dark Hole, you should also know what that is. I'm rushing because, you know, I should probably... I really just want this to be done quickly because, you know, I've been doing this for like over half an hour at this point. Okay, 3 Reckless Greeds. It allows me to draw. People like to use Allure, but I don't like banishing my monsters because, you know, there's almost no way of getting it back. I can only get it back with Trance, and that's only 1 card. But if I activate 2 or 3 Reckless Greed at the same time, I'm only skipping 2 draw faces. It doesn't stack, and it just lets me draw. I don't run a lot of traps, so yeah. I have a Starlight Road because, you know, when I was against 44 Drewster, he used to, oh man, JD would just blow up my field. So if I do this, negate JD, gets Stardust, gets another JD, just negate that too, unless he attacks and then uses effect, but then I don't get hit directly. Scrap Iron Scarecrow, that allows me to negate attacks, and it keeps my deck count down because I don't have to constantly get cards that negate different attacks or Mirror Force to destroy a bunch of monsters because this is reusable. Just put it back face down, negate, okay. Allows me some time, and allows me this and that, you know, pretty good. Mind Crush. Mind Crush is potential discard outlet. It's random, so I don't like gambling on that too much unless I'm like have all Dark World cards or I in like a really big pinch. But you know, people search their deck now. Stratos, when people use Sandgen, when people use Reinforcement of their Army, Warrior Returning Alive, a lot of different cards, and they add it to their hand. Just Mind Crush. Say the name. Sometimes when I forget the name, I'd say, oh, what was that card you just added? And they tell me. I would say, oh, okay. Mind Crush that card. They'd be pretty upset, but yeah. So that's my deck right there. I hope you didn't get too bored watching this. So I'm going to be posting 2 more videos, or 1 more video, depending on how fast I can do it, of my side deck and my extra deck. And, you know, this is Cool Ice 159, and get your game on.